you want to write, then write. Don't wait for an invitation. It's hard to get people on board with what's in your head.
Right.
Some people are able to do it, but I don't know. That's another skill set that we didn't really have. We wanted to show that we could do it, and we wanted to stay true to the vision, and to the story. And the only way we knew how was to do everything on our own.
Ryan and Ariella, good to have you on Underexposed. So many first-time filmmakers wait for permission, but you guys just grabbed a camera and got to making a feature. Gazer premiered at Cannes Fortnight and has garnered glowing reviews. Christian Zilko from IndieWire said it should restore your lost faith in indie cinema. I was very impressed and excited by this movie when I was able to watch it. And I think it's so exciting that you guys made it. But before we get into how you were able to make it, I wonder if you could give us just a brief description of Gazer for those who haven't seen the amazing trailer or heard about it.
Sure. Gazer follows a young mother with a rare brain condition. As she takes a job from a mysterious woman with a dark past and suffers the consequences.
Very good, very mysterious and succinct.
We did not memorize it at all.
You went into this project during the pandemic as complete outsiders, as I understand it, right? To the business. You hadn't really been working in movies before. You didn't have any credits exactly before, and you just dove into this. That is wild and so exciting. So if you could just like walk us through the origins of the movie and the way it evolved over the 2 years you were shooting it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So during the pandemic, Ariella was furloughed from her job at the Angelica Film Center in New York City. I was considered an essential worker. I was still working as an electrician. I was in a prison working, so it was kind of bleak times. But that kind of paranoia and grim feeling got us talking about where we were, where we wanted to be, and we decided that we were going to buckle down and spend our time developing and writing this film, and then shooting as early as April 2021. So we began by watching films, finding a common ground, which was very easy, thank God. Ariel and I share the same taste in cinema and music, so we're very fortunate in that regard. But it kind of began with films like Coppola's The Conversation, with Polanski's Chinatown, Antonioni's Blowout, Lee Chang-dong's Burning, Aronofsky's The Wrestler, and on and on. And we kind of found these groups of films that we loved, and we were like, if we can make a movie that is half as good as any of these movies, we would be very, very happy.
With
And
that same spirit.
with that
Yeah.
same spirit, and truthfully, we ended up making the movie that we wanted to see, you know.
Mhm.
So we got into production in April of 2021 on a weekend, and we shot the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie. So we were cemented into this project, and then we spent 2.5 years between a couple weekends in April, a couple weekends in November each year, shooting more and more of the film. And the time in between was just all about tightening up the script and tightening up what we were doing and pushing forward.
Right. And I noticed in the notes that I received that you hadn't had even a complete script when you started filming and you just started kind of putting it together. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, I mean, we had a story. And we knew that the script would continue to develop, but just by nature of how we were doing it, since we had the time to continue building it, we allowed for that, but we always knew how it was starting and ending, and we always knew the shape of the story, and
Mhm.
we knew the story that we were telling. But yeah, but by nature of how we shot it,
Yeah.
we were able to kind of, yeah, just have more fun with the narrative, which we took advantage of.
Right. And were you editing at the same time that you were shooting? And you that there's a luxury in that, right? You can like look at what you have so far because
Absolutely.
stretching out the production.
Yeah, and I mean another luxury that we had was our composer, Steve Matthew Carter, was writing music before we even had any words written down on a screenplay. As Ariel and I were developing the idea, I would call him and talk to him, and he just began writing. So we got into production in April with 10 tracks that really set up the world of Gazer
Mhm.
and kept everybody like excited and just in the pocket of what we were doing. Um, So that was a huge luxury. And whenever we got film back, we'd throw it into Premiere and we'd put music in there as well, so we could kind of just see what was going on, and we'd just write in. I had storyboards, so we put the storyboards in there as well to kind of keep the movie going. It was very sparse in the beginning, very empty, just kind of the beginning, the end, a big black chunk for an hour.
Because we shot it just on weekends. Ryan and I were working 2, 3 jobs at the time.
Yeah.
Um, and so pretty much we would work our day jobs, then we would work our night jobs. And when we got home, we would either
Or
get
our
ready
weekend jobs,
for our weekend jobs.
we were a cover band. We
Playing
played,
music in Atlantic City.
yeah,
And we had like 45-minute breaks. And on those 45-minute breaks between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.,
we would write,
we would write, or we would get,
prepare for the shoot.
we would prepare for
Yeah.
the shoot. Yeah. So that was how we were doing it for 2.5 years.
I hope that factors into a future movie, being a cover band in Atlantic City. Sounds
I
like
mean,
territory.
yeah,
Yeah.
Atlantic City in general is just, it's
It's ripe.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it hasn't really changed a bit since The Color of Money.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes me think of the locations, which I think are phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing that you guys were able to put together a movie that builds such a coherent story world. There's not a single, like misplaced item in the background. It just feels like it's all part of the world, and I was really impressed by that. How did you find those locations?
They were just customers, homes and places of business. And they were, kind enough to allow us to shoot there. I think the only 2 places that we rented or 3 places that we rented, we should shout out, is Movie Time Cars. We rented a bus for a day. Um, we had our friend Brian Aria Costa at Lincoln Tunnel Motel. He really helped us out and became pretty much a contributor, right? I mean, he acted in the film as well, but
Yeah,
he just gave us so much to allow us to shoot there.
he's a huge cinephile,
Yeah. And he's
and an actor.
great little actor
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Amazing human being. And then we also shot at the Bendix Diner on Route 17 in I don't know, Hasbrook Heights. I don't know where that is exactly, actually.
At the intersection of 3 highways.
Yeah, yeah. But John is the gentleman who rented that to us, and everything was like, we told everybody we don't have any money, we don't have much to give. This is what we have. Can we make this work? And they're like, go ahead. Everybody was it was a very grassroots community kind of fueled project.
Being that you pulled it off and beautifully so, what advice would you have for other people that are thinking about doing maybe a micro budget movie without any permission, just going for it like you guys did?
I think it all comes back to that phrase. My stepfather uh had once said, if you want to write, then write, don't wait for an invitation. I think there's so much energy put into um other people. You put so much stock in other people giving you the green light. And I think whatever you can do to kind of retain your power and do it on your own, you should, because then you're not giving someone else that power to tell you whether or not your idea is worth it. It's hard to get people on board with what's in your head.
Right.
Some people are able to do it, but I don't know. That's another skill set that we didn't really have. We wanted to show that we could do it. And we wanted to stay true to the vision and to the story. And the only way we knew how was to do everything on our own.
Yeah.
So I hope this gives people the inspiration and the motivation to just fully to fully keep your power and do what you can.